Hey everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing the Shadow Work Tarot reading for the sign of Taurus. Now, please bear in mind that this is a general reading. It's not going to apply to everyone's circumstances at this time. If you feel like the main energies that are pulled are not resonating with you, maybe check out your placements for your moon sign in particular, as that may be more relevant to you at this time. So do check your natal chart if you're unaware of what the placements of the other signs are in your birth chart. Okay, you can also check in relation to your rising and Venus signs also if the video for your sun sign or moon sign do not apply. So to let you to let you know, I will be using the Dark Mirror Oracle deck in order to get the main energies of what is being released at this time. Also, I'll be getting more insight into your circumstances using the Wild Unknown Tarot. And then finally, I'll be clarifying with the intuitive as always. So, let's get stuck in, Taurus. So what is it that you are being shown by your shadow self at this time? What needs healing and releasing? And what energies are you alternating between at this current time? Interesting. Okay, so these came out pretty fast and pretty violently actually. And just to let you know, when I was because I usually pre-shuffle the cards, it depends on the reading of course, but for these shadow work readings I've been pre-shuffling, and when I was doing that for you, Taurus, I really felt this sense of anxiety. I'm not sure where that may be coming from yet, but maybe we'll get insight as we continue the read. But I really did get a strong sense of anxiety from you guys. There's something that's concerning you at this time, or that may be keeping you in a lower vibrational field. So just be aware of that, okay? That whatever is causing you concern or making you feel anxious is actually bringing your overall energy down. So just be aware of that. Okay. So first I pulled Revenge. Okay. So this is talking about feeling as though there's something in some way that was done in a way that caused you a lot of harm, or that was done in a very snide manner, in a very I feel like it's like undercut, someone was undercutting you in some way, and that made you feel quite resentful, to the point where you felt so wronged that you needed to take action. Okay, this is what this is talking about. It's not just feeling like something is unjust, but unjust to the point where you feel you have to take action, you have to resolve it in your own way by any means necessary. It's the card of vengeance, right? And that's where that energy is obviously very low vibrational. So that could be where this anxiety has come from, because you feel some situation is so uncalled for, so unjust. You feel as though you have to take up the sword and make it right, however necessary, okay? So that can be very dangerous energy if you're not careful. So just be aware of that. And then second of all, you have Queen of My World, okay? So you see how these cards are actually quite closely related, but they do convey slightly different messages. In this case, this is talking about really feeling as though that while you may not be able to control certain aspects of your reality, or control various factors in the world that has put you into this sort of ice queen mentality that has maybe made your heart grow cold, where it used to be very open and loving. You feel like you are now able to take control by, asserting your power over your own sense of reality, right? So your immediate kingdom is what you feel like you have the ability to control. So that's what you're doing. It's like, well, if I can't have things completely on my terms, if I can't, if life isn't going to play fairly, if the world isn't just, then the world I create for myself will be. So it's like you creating your own little kingdom and being the ruler of your own universe, right, essentially. And yeah, I mean, while that's not inherently negative, there are some more lower vibrational traits that can come with that. For example, it's very easy to get caught into shallowness and egotism, narcissism. These kind of energies come up with this particular card. So you have to be aware of that you don't fall into the trap of appeasing your ego because it was bruised by whatever situation is pulling you into this energy, right, of wanting to take action, make it right, whatever, by any means necessary, even if you know that it's going to burn you in the process as well. So yeah, Taurus, you have to be very, very careful in this circumstance, because you're being pulled into a lower vibration. You're being pulled into enacting and becoming, enacting a situation based on what you feel is right, but not necessarily what is actually right, or what is actually going to give you the consequences that you look for. And it can, if you're not careful, if you move into that space, particularly coming from this energy into this energy, it can have disastrous consequences, and you may not like the person you see in the mirror moving forward. So you have to be very, very careful with how you move between these energies, okay? And what action you choose, okay? So just be aware of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some tarot now for you to see what exactly is going on in your current situation. Again, it is a general reading. If it doesn't resonate, that's fine. Have a look at something else, right? One of the other videos may be relevant to you in regards to your other placements, or there may be a video on YouTube from another reader that's going to be more beneficial to you at this time. That's fine. Then there is no one way to approach this. That's the beauty of, the inner work, is that there's many ways in which you can approach it. And that there's going to be certain key messages that will be brought to your awareness because it's relevant to your circumstance. If this isn't the one, and you feel that this isn't the one, then that's fine. Okay. So to begin with then, you have the Three of Wands in reverse. So this is talking about manifestation. This is the calling in of your vision, It's literally a case of doing the work in the ethereal and waiting and watching for it to manifest in your reality, okay? And it's in reverse. So this is telling me that you feel like you've lacked the means in order to do this kind of work. And that's what you're looking for because of whatever situation arose that brought you into this space of needing to take immediate action at all costs, And you can see how this kind of energy almost mirrors the Two of Swords, right? She's holding two swords, but instead of being blindfolded, her eyes are wide open, and she's standing on a sigil that's now lit up magically, right? Like a portal. So this is her calling upon her incantations, using her incantations, using magic to manifest change, from the ethereal into her 3D reality. And this is what it's talking about, that at this time you don't feel like you've had the means to do so. There's something that you're missing, or you feel like is preventing you from doing so. However, you are determined to take action. You're just looking for the means that will help you to actually do this work, right? So some of you may be looking into magical practices. You may be opening up to spirituality more. You may be looking into the darker corners of spirituality in order to find these means, find the answers, in order to help you do this work. But again, you have to be very, very careful if you're venturing down that path, okay? It's not something I would recommend personally, but, free will, I cannot tell you what to do. All right. Next, you have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So this is a karmic cycle, okay? This is talking about a karmic cycle that is still played out, right? This is not the end. It's not by any means over. And obviously the actions that you take, the choices you make at this time, is going to have a direct effect on the outcome, okay? And how this plays out and what karma you'll be bringing into your life as a result. So yeah, this is talking about instant karma as well, not just something that's going to play out over the long term, which obviously is a factor, but also what you're going to see directly as a consequence, right? But we'll get more clarification as to exactly what this is talking about. Next, you have the High Priestess in reverse. So unwilling or unable to see things clearly, right? You may be communicating and saying how unjust the situation is. You may even be telling those closest to you that you are no longer sitting in the shadows and you're going to act. That you're going to make the situation right at all costs. However, you're intuitively you know that this path that you're taking is a dangerous one, and it may be not in your best interest, okay? Your higher self may be screaming at you at this time not to take this path, okay? So it's asking you for caution, it's asking you for awareness, to move slowly and silently. Take the time you need to reflect before you act. Next you have the Sun of Swords, okay? So this is Knight of Swords, air energy, okay? Now this is all about action. This is swift action. This is not something that's, it's not taking the first step. This is literally charging full steam ahead towards an outcome, right? And this is what I'm talking about. This is very fast action. This is, not really taking the time to think it through anymore. It's just simply, this is what's going to happen. Right? It's just interesting. I'm looking, I literally just saw a bird fly and I realized I had a pigeon on my balcony just here. So it's interesting that while I'm holding this card, a pigeon just turns up on my balcony, says hello, and then quickly flies off again. Interesting. So yeah, birds might be very relevant to you at this time, Taurus. You may see, for some reason, a lot of birds around your apartment, more so than normal. You may see more birds seemingly flock around you. You may have a bird even land on you. There may be a message here in regards to birds that's important, in regards to your action. Maybe this will happen when you're about to act, and you'll realize that when you see this bird, this will be a sign from the universe, okay? Whether or not you should take this action. We'll clarify that to see if that which is the case, all right? Next, you have the Nine of Cups in the upright. So water energy, of course, dealing with a lot of emotions, processing what it is that you truly want. Is this the outcome that you're seeking truly? Is this action that you're considering? Is that what's going to bring you the happiness that you've been waiting for? That's what you need to consider. Is this going to make me happy? Am I going to be happy as a result of doing this thing, whatever it is? So again, that's something very, very important to be considering. And then finally, you have the Four of Pentacles. So we have earth energy. We have all four elements here. Fire, air, water, and now earth. Now here, this is talking about holding something in. I think maybe not just holding something in, but holding something back. I feel like there might be a bit of an inner struggle here. You're trying to suppress what your higher self is trying to communicate to you at this time. It may be that you're holding back finances in order to carry out this plan that you have. It may be that you're also very careful and mindful of who you involve in this situation, right? That there may be some people that you're communicating. It could even be 4 people or 3 other people that are involved in this situation. But you're being very quiet in regards to your plan of action, or you may be holding back from communicating this to anyone else outside of these 3 or 4 other people, right? Because each of you have a significant role to play within this situation. So it could be in relation to family members in particular. But either way, I feel like each person has their own role to play within this. And as such, you've all agreed to keep quiet until you act. Okay, so there might be something very, I don't know. I feel like this message is not for the majority. I feel like this one is very, very specific to specific individuals, and it's going to play out different ways. But for someone, this is something quite serious. I feel like, I don't feel like this is a murder being planned out or anything, but I feel like someone's going to take retribution, and it's going to have some very serious consequences. So if that's you, if you're listening to this, and this is you, please take the time to consider before you take any action, okay? Because what we're talking about here is not a joke. It's not a small thing. It's very serious, and it can have very serious consequences, right? Even if you're not planning to do anything that dramatic, things don't always go according to plan. And I really do get a sense of anxiety and fear and something going a bit wrong here. So just be aware of that, okay? All right, so very heavy energy. It's making my chest hurt. I'm already sick, so you guys are not helping me right now. But yeah, it's fine. I mean, this is why we're doing it, right? Because we need you, we need to bring these messages forward, because obviously this is relevant to someone, even if it's just one person and they hear it, and it potentially gets them rethinking their strategy so they don't put themselves and others in a very precarious situation or cause, something that's irreversible to occur. That's a positive thing, right? So it's got to get out there. So I'm really glad to be doing this now, because this is a heavy one. And I don't know who it's going to apply to, but I'm sure someone out there needs it to hear this. Okay, so let's go ahead and clarify now. Okay. Okay, so to clarify the Three of Wands in reverse here, just to show, now I'm just throwing it apparently. So to clarify the Three of Wands, you have the Seven of Swords in reverse and the Emperor. So this is Aries card, okay? So it may be, especially with the Three of Wands, it could be that whoever is involved in this situation is an Aries, or they have Aries in their chart, or you could have it, or simply this is the energy of the person that you felt that you were wronged by, okay? There was, with the Seven of Swords in reverse as well, I feel like, sorry, this was supposed to be in reverse, I remember. With the Seven of Swords in reverse, I feel like this person's deception and manipulation came to the forefront. You realized how they were deceiving you. You realized the tricks they were playing to cause friction between you and these key 3 or 4 other members. The truth came to the surface, essentially. And now you're just trying to figure out a way on how to deal with this circumstance, how to make the wrong right, essentially, in your mind. Make, justice, essentially, right? Because of what this person did, how they wronged you, however they wronged you. You felt like, this person thinks they're going to get away with it scot-free, whereas you're trying to find the means on how to bring retribution on this person, right? Okay. So, to clarify the Wheel of Fortune here, you have the Seven of Cups in the upright and the Knight of Wands in reverse. So again, we've got more fire energy. I think you felt like there's many ways to try and heal from this, okay? To try and, I feel like you're still grieving some aspect of the situation. There's still a lot of emotions that need processing, and there's different ways to go about healing, right? Healing from this situation. However, you feel like you're unable to do so. You're unable to truly move forward with your life because there is no justice, right? This person appears to be getting away scot-free. There's no consequence. And that's the bit that's sitting badly with you. That's the part that you can't just ignore, right? That there's seemingly no consequence to this person's actions, and that needs to be resolved, right? There's no closure. And then clarifying the High Priestess here, you have the Strength card and the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So they could also be a Leo, okay? Because fire has come up quite prominently so far in the reading. So they could be an Aries or a Leo, or they could have these placements in their chart, or simply these are the energies that this person embodies. There's a lot of fire energy. Now, I feel like you are, you're having, as I said, that inner struggle. Because you know ultimately, if you choose this path, there's no turning back. And you're not going to have the support from those that can help you, right, to move forward. If you choose this path, then essentially you're on your own. And you're aware of that. So there's this inner conflict that's taking place right now. And you're fighting against your your higher self, right? You're fighting against your better judgment even, because you know that all actions have consequences. So it's not worth rushing into something and, acting impulsively. So you're trying to hold yourself back from doing something that would be regrettable. Because you know as well that you'd be doing it ultimately alone, even though you may have co-conspirators or whatever you want to call it. Ultimately, you'd all have to be dealing with your own inner hell as a result. So, yeah, very, very heavy energy, right? So something to be aware of. So clarifying the Sun of Swords here, which is the Page of Swords. You have the Nine of Wands and the Three of Wands in reverse again. So again, this is talking about you taking swift action, wanting to move on something fast, not holding back, no hesitation. However, it's not going to be as straightforward as that. There's going to be a series of obstacles that are going to be, cutting across your path. Because you haven't found a way to really make your desired outcome the reality, right? You haven't found the means to do so yet, or there's some information that needs to come into your awareness. There's some idea, vision that you're requiring in order to make that materialize, right? So there are some obstacles there that need to be overcome. There's some things that you need to there's some risks involved, essentially. And I feel like it's almost like kamikaze energy, especially with this being here. It's like, I've been through so much. There's nothing more that this person can do to me at this point. So I really don't care. I just want this to end. And this is the only way I can see to end it, right? To really bring justice, to bring the truth to the surface, right? This is what it's going to take. And I'm just waiting to find the right means to make that happen. And then as soon as I do, I'm going to do it, right? Okay, and then clarifying the Nine of Cups here. You have the Three of Cups in reverse. And the Nine of Cups in reverse as well. So clarifying the Nine of Cups in the upright, you have the Nine of Cups in reverse and the Three of Cups in reverse. So this is why it's asking you to really think about what's actually going to bring you joy, because if you decide to take this step, there is no joy that can be gained from it. No positive outcome can come from this path that you're choosing, okay? That ultimately is going to bring you further down the spiral. It's not going to bring you the happiness that you seek, right? Sure, there may be retribution in your perceived eyes, you know, or there may be some kind of karmic justice from your perspective. However, it's only going to bring you further down the spiral. It's not going to make the wrong right if you choose this path. Okay? And then finally, clarifying the Four of Pentacles. You have the Ten of Cups and the Knights of Swords in reverse. You see how many of these cards are coming up in the upright and the reverse, depending on where they're placed, right? But this is what it's talking about. It's like, I feel like it's not only about these other people, but it's like, if all of you choose restraint, if you choose not to act, then you have a real shot of being happy. You can start afresh and go after what it is that truly will make you happy. But the choice is yours ultimately, but all of you have to make this choice as individuals. But if you can all exercise restraint and choose not to take this action, whatever it is, only you know what that is, you have a real shot of going after your true happiness. You can help and support one and each other. You can nurture each other's healing, right? While you go after your true happiness. And honestly, that's when the Wheel of Fortune will be in the upright. That's when the karmic situation can close and you can go after a new beginning, okay? So Taurus, I hope that was helpful. I know it's very heavy, and as I said, it's only relevant to certain individuals. But if this does apply to you, please consider the message here before you take any action. As I said, if you do see a bird, if there's like a really prominent bird that sits on you, comes very close to you, there's something about it that stands out, or there's a multitude of birds that seems really out of the norm around you at that time when you're considering this act or you're about to take action, heed that as the universe communicating that there's another opportunity, like there's another possibility, okay? That this isn't the only choice, and that actually this choice that you're making could be the wrong one. It's the universe trying to bring a message into your life at a crucial moment that what you're about to do cannot be undone. You can reconsider now. This is your last chance to pull out, right? So if that becomes relevant to you, then I hope you'll remember this at that crucial time. But yeah, I mean, do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, or if you found it useful, should I say, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And yeah, I really hope that, you know, if this does apply, then you don't take any hasty actions, and that you find the best outcome for yourself, for those you care about, and overall, okay? So I wish you all the best, and I'll be doing another reading for you soon, so take care for now.